This is the What I Need podcast, a shared journey exploring topics of society, spirituality, and even ways of being. Here, we speak freely and fully, from the heart and the conscious mind, in hopes to find what we need. Thank you, for your time is valuable and you could have been anywhere else in the universe. All of you are welcomed and appreciated here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the What I Need podcast. It is your host, King Carlton. Woo! Wow. It has been a little while, and it's just, I don't even know if I need to explain anymore. I think that's one thing that I struggle with, over-explaining. Explaining to who? Explaining why? I mean, of course, I'm explaining to my guests and listeners on this show, but I don't even think they care. I don't think you guys need an additional explanation. You're listening to whatever episode you've clicked on, or whatever episode I'm deciding to show you, and I'm sure that's intriguing or whatever enough. Intriguing, interesting, possibly, oh God, do we have to listen to this? No, you don't. So you can turn it off right now if you don't like. You can turn it off right now if you ain't really trying to listen. That's fine. Anyway, what I was about to say. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I'm off the top of the dome today. As usual, no script, no idea what I'm about to talk about. And I love to do that to myself and to y'all, because why not? It's spontaneous. Just like the art and beauty of creation. We just decided to be, and here we are. So let's get it popping, right? I felt the need to talk about portals today. Portals, like, on the science fiction, shows where they're in the middle of nowhere, or they're at the Stargate and a portal opens, and this portal takes you to someplace else, a wormhole across the galaxy to another planet, or a different dimension where people do it this way instead of that way. And I wanted to bring to understanding that this often science fiction portrayed idea is not such a science fiction, but very much so a real actually, or a reality, as most people like to call it. I like to call that which is real a real actually, instead of reality, because I think we've thrown that word around so much. Reality TV. And then we begin to think reality means show, a TV show, reality TV show, or something of that nature. Or reality, means MTV. And while those things are all very cool and entertaining, you are reality. And you are capable of so much. Capable to bring forth anything you like. Even anything you might not like. But at the same time, perhaps like and dislike are not as vast as we thought. They're not maybe so far away from each other as we thought. Or we need to be a lot more precise about choosing and understanding what it is that we like and don't like. Maybe making a list of things. 10 likes, 10 dislikes. What kind of attitudes do you like? What kind of friendships do you like? What kind of living situation do you like? What kind of moods, feelings do you like? because the human being that you are is a portal. The energy that you are, rather, is a portal. In this experience, walking around as a human being, for the most part, two arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, okay, and the rest of it. But see, that's our exterior, that's our external. So we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Still wonderful, still all good. But I think as we get into this age of understanding further what this fully means, and really getting the keys to the intergalactic Ferrari, as I would say, so we could really, get there. We should understand that we are portals, energetic portals. Just as so we're that spiritual being. Spiritual often equates to the word energy. When you break it down or when you research spiritual or energy. So we're energy beings, vibrational beings, having a human experience. So what can we bring through our vibrational portal? Anything you want, anything you focus your mind to, you will see that showing up in your world. And I think sometimes individuals can be dissatisfied with what they've manifested, but we look everywhere but within ourselves to understand how that popped up. Now, I go through a lot of fluctuation, highs and lows, paradises and seeming hells, or perils, whatever. And that's just been a portion of my life. I mean, before I had so much awareness about these things, and also before I have had to go through very many, I guess more of like adult or grown up things, I would say my younger years where my imagination was just filled with, ideas of dreams and hopes and dreams. I realized I manifested those, and that's where I ended up. And I think when you're filled with so much of these things, hold on. So I'm going to finish this episode in video, because I was just like, what if I just started the episode in audio and then popped up on video halfway through. You never know what you might get on the What I Need podcast. So welcome to part 2. We're talking about portals. So I obviously have already explained and connected both episodes, or both parts of the episode. Shout out Grand Rapids. I love my city. And I always say that so I don't get shot. No, I'm just kidding. I always say that. Well, actually, I love my city, okay? And I love being safe in my city. But, I think when you, we ain't that bad. Anyway, we can bring to ourselves what it is that we ruminate on, bring our attention to. So when I say I love my city, and I think of love for each and every being here that goes to work, that doesn't have a job, that is doing well, that is working on doing well, that knows what love is, that might not know what love is yet. When I say I love my city, when I think of the beings and all of the nature too, you hear that? So even the birds and the bees and the, I don't know what they call them, beavers? They're not beavers, they're like groundhogs. And I just enter that space of love. through attention, you are putting yourself in a safer environment in your city because you're entering a dimension of more love. Environmentally, whether this person or that person sees it for you or not, when you say, I love my city, and you take a deep breath into that, and you really sincerely mean that in your heart, you're channeling that vibration of love in your city. You are walking down dimensional avenues that put you at the right love at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So try it out. Even if you're having a difficulty loving wherever you are right now. Sometimes, a lot of times I hear people say, oh, I can't stand such and such. I can't stand, they say it about this place. I can't stand Grand Rapids. And I'm like, the more you say that, the more you are going to dislike your environment. So I could do a whole nother episode on that. But because we already started the episode, and this is like a part 2, I'm beginning this episode with a little tidbit of, how I keep it good in the hood. I love my city. Okay? And beings feel that vibration off of you. They say, hey, how you doing? And it's like, it's not weird. It's just like, something about him is cool. I've had people say that so many times. And I'm like, something about you is cool. I love my city. You know how we don't play. And it is like, yeah, you're cool with everybody at that point. And it's even before words. So I invite you to indulge in that and allow yourself to be there wherever you are across the beautiful world, to specifically put love on your environment. Okay? Spend a minute and 30 seconds breathing in and out slowly and just ruminating on that. You'll notice it's different. So that's what I mean when we're talking about portals, and what a good segue as we are discussing portals. And that we are an energetic portal as a vibrational being, a spiritual being having a human experience. We bring things into our world with the word, life and death and power of the tongue, with our mood and attitudes of how we feel. And this is why meditation is so important, because through your being, through your energetic and through your vibrational being, you are a portal. And you are bringing into the world whatever it is that you kind of have your attention on the most. They say when we pay attention to whatever we pay attention to, like that's the greatest form of currency that we have to spend. Not the dollars, not the dollars in our pocket, but what we put our attention on. Pay attention, right? So when we pay attention to our inner space and we allow a space of stillness to be there, some may call this be still and know. So when you're getting in touch with the God in the midst of you, what is it that you're available to? What is it that you're not available to? And then there's other obviously ways of understanding that. There's so many ways of understanding that. However, I don't know them all, and I'm only well versed with the I am presence and Buddhahood and things of that nature at this time. So I don't teach on everything in the world, because that would be not, I can't give you good information on it. I'm not going to act like it. I'm not going to act like I know everything. And also in respect to people's backgrounds and their beautiful cultures, there's so much beauty and there's so much to learn from. And everything is not enemy everything is actually somehow friend. And we really live in, this is another conversation I have to save for another time, but we really live amongst dynamic oneness. And the more time we spend in meditation, the more time we spend affirming, we get in touch with this ability to experience the reality of our dreams. So be a portal and open yourself to your most beautiful dreams. Be a portal and open yourself to your wildest, gorgeous imagination. Be a portal today. Affirm, pray, bring forward the best of yourself. Bring forth your true nature and be a portal to that. You know, the opposite end of that, or the other end of that, is bringing forward a lot of doubts, fears, worries, conflict. You could be a portal for that as well. But, you're going to be the first one to experience the outpouring of that. Just as you will be the first one to experience the outpouring of gratitude, the outpouring of joy, the outpouring of love, self-love, and the outpouring of beauty and value, which is our meditation for this week. I see beauty, I see value. I create beauty, I create value. I am beautiful, I am valuable. And so are you. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the What I Need podcast. Namaste, Ashe, and hallelujah. Have a good one.